The views and opinions expressed on Deliberately Linked are entirely those of the host, who are completely responsible for all show content. These views and opinions are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure in any way any kind of condition, or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or personal practice. Nor is the information presented deemed to be accurate or verifiable.
What is up, Deliberately Linked viewers? Lace them up and lock it in. Because on today's show, my brother Mark's going to talk about what it means to be colorblind. Are you colorblind?
I hope not. I hope you're not colorblind.
Uh-oh.
And that I meant like in real life. I hope you can see the beautiful colors of everything.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
we're going to talk about something a little different with it.
We are.
Okay, a little bit different with that. And I hope you stick around to hear that. I really do, because it's going to be a twist that probably most of you have never thought of. But yet it's become almost like an epidemic in our society.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting. I promise you that. There's some statistical data I'm going to share with you guys today that I think most people find kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, when you texted me your topic this morning, colorblind, I was like, whoa, I feel like this could go a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so I really have no idea, but I'm excited to see what
Yeah,
you're
just
bringing
something
today.
I just feel like he's laid on my heart. We're going to
Yeah.
talk about it. But before we get there, we're going to talk about opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities. And I think the listener needs to realize something. I think people get caught in this. And I want to take this really quick to a sports, adage here, because
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah.
Dan Marino went to one Super Bowl. I think it was like his second or third year in the league.
Okay.
And he tells everybody, I always thought I'd get back. And he never did.
Right.
So I'm here to tell you guys, opportunities do not come around every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to go with this. You need to take advantage of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where you take us on that journey.
Yeah. It's all about making some noise.
Yeah.
But before we get going, guys, Visionary Meals, thank you again for sponsoring this show. Excited to have you on with us here today. A healthy meal prep service, guys, providing locally grown and raised, farm-raised products for you guys while you're on the go, keeping you on track of your diet, providing the utmost convenience, guys. So what's so nice about Visionary Meals is, so many meal prep companies out there bring a fantastic product. They really do.
Yeah.
But where it becomes unaffordable, Visionary Meals has pickup locations via gym, via supplement shots like we have touched on before, where it completely waives the shipping cost that you can send your meals to those pickup locations, and it completely waives the shipping costs, and grab your meal out of the fridge, grab and go, no transactions done at that location, has your whole order there, seamless, smooth.
You're talking about saving dollars per meal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not
Totally.
talking about cents. We're talking about saving dollars
For sure.
per meal. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Yeah. The meals are fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell anybody other than that, man.
Right.
When you're a meal, any type of meal company, your product, it better be good.
For sure.
Because that's like your business card. And Visionary Meals does produce a really good product.
Yeah.
Very good tasting product.
Yep. So thanks for being with us today, Visionary Meals. The power of actions. Guys, the power of actions, controlling what you can control. So now, hey, we touched on this a couple weeks ago of taking control of
That's
your
right.
control. I'm going to put I'm going to put a twist on it now of, you can only take control to a certain degree, to where there becomes a point in time where you can only control what you can control.
Yeah, not everything's controllable.
Correct.
Not everything.
Yeah, so things that you can control as you're sitting there listening to this, your work ethic. Work ethic is something that you have complete control over. You have complete control of your work ethic. You have complete control over your timeliness. Being somewhere on time, whatever it might be, and then other things you can control of, respect for others, guys. There's so many things you can control in your life that apply in every aspect.
Well, there's far more things that actually you can control than most people do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we went with those topics.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely correct. There is definitely an arena and a variety of things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not being unrealistic here. We're
Correct.
not saying that you can magically do everything.
Right.
but
Not at
yeah.
all. Not at all. But so you control basically bringing your best package, and that's kind of what I'm going to get in here in a second for you guys on what it means when you do bring your best package, and truly what kind of noise are you making for yourself? Because after that, the noise that you made it's not necessarily always up to you if it's heard.
Oh, yeah.
You can go into somewhere and make a huge impact. Whatever it might be, sports, business, life, whatever it is, you can bring your best package, but sometimes it's just not received maybe the way that you hope it's going to be received, or maybe it's just not what someone's looking for. And so, something I'm gonna probably talk real quick about the devils of social media, and that would be, I think, the number one, the worst social media platform out there right now is Snapchat. There's so much, evil and sin I feel like is on a daily basis passed through Snapchat, and obviously I'm not going to go into details about that. But one good thing that Snapchat does offer. Are you familiar with Snapchat, Mark?
If you can't see me, the look I just gave him is like, really?
Okay.
Really?
Real quick.
I have no idea.
Real quick, viewers, I know you know this, but Snapchat is you can send pictures to people, and the idea of it is they disappear in a lot.
This is exactly why my children don't have it. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So people unfortunately use it for.
I have a beautiful daughter.
Yeah, no, she should
No.
not have Snapchat. But
I will find you. Okay, I'm straight up Liam Nielsen on that. I will find you.
I love it. I love it. But anyway, so what Snapchat has is it has like a subscription area on the app to where you can watch like news stations, places like Barstool Sports that post just funny clips.
Sure.
All kinds of different people trying to people.
It's so funny you bring this up because we're going to be talking about this later.
Again,
100% guarantee. I promise you.
That's crazy. But yeah, so. And people do, like, there's this one I actually follow. Well, Dude Perfect's one. These guys just do ridiculous trick shots and stuff like that. Just entertaining stuff.
It's actually a group of Christian guys
They
that went
are.
to Texas A&M.
They are, yeah, great guys.
I only know that because of that. So
Yeah, no doubt. But something that Snapchat has been doing these past couple days is the NFL teams they have previews of all the training camp that's going on right now. So they show fun little highlights of different athletes competing for a role on the team, and just different highlights of the NFL organization as a whole, and just it basically hypes up. Hey, the season's coming. Gets everyone excited. I think it's a really cool thing that Snapchat social media is offering, and that all these organizations have bought into that and just truly sharing everything that's going on for them as an organization. But I was watching that the other day, and I was watching a quick interview of, I think it was the Cardinals coach, and he was talking about some of his players competing for a position, not only on the team, but a position on the field. And just a little fun fact for you guys. So when training camp starts, only 90 players are basically on the team at that point.
they're on the roster
On
at
the
that
roster,
point.
correct. So 90 guys are on the team. So after training camp, of the roster that is for the season, it's a 53-man roster.
Yeah. So there's 3 cuts.
Yes, three what?
There's 3 cuts to get from 90 to 53.
Correct. Yeah. So that's 37 guys. 37.
Gone. No jobs.
Yeah. Cut. So
That's right.
I was kind of thinking about that, and it actually brought me back to Wittenberg, and a very similar mindset going into training camp at Wittenberg as a freshman. And I'm looking at these, I'm like, okay, college football is obviously a lot more different than what these guys. I mean, these guys, their careers, their life, in a way depends on
the guys that are getting cut. The guys that are getting cut could play on any college team in the country.
Yeah, no doubt.
The elite of the elite.
But these guys, 37 guys on each roster from the start, are going to be searching for a job here in a couple months or whenever that officially cut off.
And the only job they've known for the last 10 years is playing football.
Yep. Yeah. So it truly, if you wrap your mind around like just the impact that it can have, positive or negative on your life, it's you wrap your mind around how these guys are going in and day out of like, I have one shot at this. I'm either going to make some noise or I'm not. Going into my freshman year at Wittenberg for football, I knew I was a nobody. And if you guys haven't watched or listened to episode 1, I encourage you guys to go back and listen to that
really
story.
Do. It's great information.
Of just how I was a nobody at that time. But I knew, after my freshman year, I was like, if I ever want the opportunity to see the field and have an impact for the Wittenberg Tigers, I'm going to have to find a way to make some noise. I need to make a name for myself. There's no other way about it. I have to do something for these coaches to recognize me, because I not only that, my freshman class, we walk in, you guys have heard this multiple times, we've walked in with 90 guys. So, I'm a nobody right now.
Yeah.
Like you have to find a way. I had to find a way to stand out. And so just quick background for you guys on how I took the opportunity for myself to make some noise in that program after our freshman year. Is freshman year off season, so we're in the off season going into our sophomore year. We're doing the off season program, and at the beginning of the off season, you do pre-testing, then you do post-testing.
Yep.
Pretty standard across the board for most.
All the way down
programs.
to high school, we do the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
But one thing I knew I was good at was dips. At this point in my career, I was still fairly light. I didn't put on the size that I put on later in my career. And so before I went and did my reps for dips, they just count how many dips you can do. And I, just for the heck of it, I go over and look at the record board, because there's a big record board in our weight room. And I go over and I look at it, and I saw it was like 81 dips or something like that.
Which is a ton of dips. If you've never done a dip, 81 dips is a lot of dips.
That's a ton of dips. And don't get me, like, these coaches, full reps. I mean,
yeah, you're all the way down.
I was watching them not count reps for guys because they weren't locking their arms out, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I look at that board, and I was like, I'm going to beat that. I'm going to go beat that number. And my name gets called up. There's only a few stations, so you got a lot of your guys rallying around you. Obviously, as you get going, not much noise is being made. But as you start getting into 30, 40, 50, 60 dips, you got the team starting to rally behind you.
Oh, they're excited.
And I'm hitting 60, 70 dips, and I got guys screaming in my ear, like, come on, Link, you got this. Keep grinding, keep going. Just getting after it. And I'm starting to feel the energy. And I black out at this point. Like, I'm just in the zone right now. I'm repping them out. I have no idea where I was. And, I finish. I drop down of just like pure exhaustion. My triceps are cramping and stuff like that.
Arms are dead.
And I look to the coach that was counting, and I go, how many did I get? And he goes 89. And I go, let's go, baby. I just broke the record. I was so stoked. I was like, let's go. And I had guys jumping on me. It's like, and that feeling of like, okay, I just made some noise.
Yeah.
I just made some noise. I didn't have any other option.
Now they know your name.
Now they know who I am.
They know your name.
And later in that off season as well, I had the opportunity again with the same mindset going into it. It was like, okay, dip record's one thing, but we do this Ironman challenge at the end of the off season, and it's basically what it is. It's dips again with curls, squat, clean press, and a bench. It's basically from your body weight. There's a certain amount of weight on the bar and how many reps you can
Percentages.
get.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And I ended up winning that as well. So I was like feeling pretty confident, going into preseason. We had a preseason meeting, and coach pulls me aside, my position coach, and he goes, we were talking about the off season and everything, and he goes, Link, you had quite the off season, proud of you, way to grind, definitely can see some leadership in you. Coaches are definitely talking.
Committed.
Correct. And I go, that's fantastic. I appreciate that, coach. Thank you so much. And he goes, hey, we're actually going to move you to outside linebacker. I'm like, okay, let's go, baby. Let's go. I mean, whatever. I just want to see the field. Now, did that mean I was like, okay, sweet, I just got a starting position? No. But with that meeting and with that acknowledgement of the coaches saying, hey, we're going to move him, they put their eyes on myself, and they're like, we can potentially see a future with this kid here.
It's not just that. As an ex-coach, there's times where we'll look at players and they're like, look, currently this is why we brought him in here.
Right.
I don't have space there, but I need to get this guy on the field.
Correct.
So we could tweak this, move this.
Yes.
He's also shown us that he can do what we need him to do, but we need to get this guy on the field. That's what happens. And I think the important part about a lot of important part about this conversation, where some people will get this wrong, there's two types of people. There's sayers and there's doers. Mm-hmm. Don't get caught being a sayer. No. I mean, you could have spent your off season running your mouth. You know what I mean? I've been in our high school locker room and weight room for years, and I've got a lot of guys that come in, they want to talk to me the entire time we're in there. Guess what? I like the guy that's over there sweating his butt off, and I haven't heard a word out of him. Those are the guys I'm watching. Yeah. Don't be a sayer, be a doer.
Yeah.
That you're making noise. Making noise isn't necessarily how loud you are. No. Making noise is what is the reaction I'm creating.
Yes. I'm glad you made that point, because To reiterate that, yes,
Yeah.
it's not you being a loudmouth and getting everyone to look at you and just
It's
being
creating
this
the ripple.
obnoxious guy.
Yeah,
You're right.
I'm creating the ripple. I'm causing a positive disturbance
For sure.
that brings positive attention to myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, for my athletes, guys, be that guy in the room where
Yeah.
don't be the guy that needs to talk, but be the guy that needs to
Well,
talk through his actions.
I don't care what arena you're in. I don't care if you're a garbage man. I don't
Correct, yeah.
care if you're a construction worker. I don't care if you're a lawyer. Corporate America. I don't care what you're in. Every job has an opportunity
Right.
with a ladder, a growth ladder. It's going to be up to you how you move up that ladder.
Right.
And I promise you, if you spend your time jockeying, trying to use your verbal skills, you're moving up that ladder is going to take a heck of a lot longer than if you just keep your mouth shut, put your head down to the grindstone,
Correct.
and you start making positive movements.
Yes.
You do that, you're going to take notice, because the best thing in the world is when people are like, I don't know who that guy is. Who's that? What's his name?
Yeah.
I don't know who that girl is. What's her name?
Right.
That's when you know you've made a movement, because now they're like, dude, I don't even know who this male or female is, but I like what I'm seeing.
Correct.
That's the noise that you need to make.
Yeah.
You're not doing this so you can get that everyday pat on your back. We're looking long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of to wrap that little story up is, I walk into the cafeteria after I think I won
For
the
some of that
Ironman.
delicious college food.
God, yeah.
There's no visionary meals down at WIT.
Nah, they ain't got that. But man, if they did, man.
If they want to, just give us a call. We can take care of that.
I know a guy. But I was walking actually with one of he was a student coach at the time, just graduated actually, and he just said, hey, don't. He looked at me and said, don't stop what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You have been heard, but it's time to show out now. You got to show out. And so, walking away from that, it was, I knew I took my opportunity to make some noise, and I ran with it like
Yeah.
Mark was talking about there. So, as individuals, sometimes in life we only get one shot, though.
And a lot of times in life,
And
you
that's
get one shot.
usually how it works. You get one shot
Yeah.
for someone to know who you are, learn who you are, hear about you, whatever it might be. And so for athletes, you have to understand when the eyes are on you, you better step it up. You better step it up. And so from some of my athletes, because I know we got a lot of high schoolers that listen to this, and my athletes that have a desire to maybe go to the next level and play college ball. So you're going to college camps or wherever you're going. That one shot that I'm talking about is when you're lining up, under center, or you're lining up in shotgun, getting ready to take your rep and throw it on a one-on-one coverage, and that coach is walking around with a clipboard. That one time, you probably only have one shot where he walks over, he finds the name on your shirt, he finds your name and who you are, and he'll watch your one rep.
That's it.
You have one
And you're
shot.
there for 4 hours.
And yeah, exactly. Make the most of it. Students, whatever it might be, whether you're a student or applying for a position, wow your teacher, wow your authority, or change the mind that they maybe have already assumption that they've already made about you in a paper or in a presentation. I'll never forget my senior year. If you guys know me, school has just never been like what I get on fire for. And I've always
Sure.
I'm proud to say in college I actually never skipped a class, never missed a class. In college, that's what people do. They skip. I don't know why, but they do. But I kind of looked at it as a challenge. I was like, okay, you all are skipping. Well, I'm gonna not skip just because I thrive off discipline, I guess. But so school was never it never just fired me up. But I never missed a class, and as in one of my sociology classes, it was at the end of the year. We were doing a proctor, a presentation of some sort, and we had a specific topic. And we picked our own topics, and mine was, this was a few years ago, but it was basically how Christ has intervened and become involved in the heroin epidemic. There's an organization out there, and guys, forgive me, I'll shoot text a link and see if you can throw it up on the screen. But there's a heroin organization where Christ is basically getting involved with these individuals that struggle with heroin and stuff
Sure.
like that. And how Christ has actually intervened in these times to save so many people. It was such a cool topic. But long story short, guys, again, I had my professor. He liked me. We had a great relationship. But I always got the feeling it was like, okay, this is just a jock football player.
Yeah.
Smaller school, everyone knows what sports you play, this and that. I didn't think I had a bad taste in my mouth from my professor, but I just don't think he looked at me. It was like, okay, I'm going to prepare this individual for 4 years or 6 more years of schooling and graduate school or something like that.
Sure.
And I gave that presentation, and he pulled me aside after my presentation and said, "Hey, Josh, I actually have a great opportunity for you. There's a sociology conference in Indiana. I would love for you to go present on your topic." And I was just like, first blown away. I was like, "Who, me? Like, what, me?"
I didn't come here to play school.
Right. I didn't end up doing it. I just didn't work out my schedule and everything that was going on. But, I wanted to give that example to you guys. Is it's those little things in life that where if you were presented with an opportunity and you have one shot to make some noise, make some noise. I took that with that opportunity, whether I intended to or not, but I just brought my A game and I wanted to bring my best
you always
package.
should. You always should.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you got to guys, this is an old saying. My mom says, put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, people will invest in those in which they see investing in themselves.
Correct.
I mean, that's just what it comes down to. Like a lot of people listen to like, okay, well, you're really good at working out. Oh, okay, but then you're missing the whole part of the story.
Right.
The reality is there's an entire group of adults who are very good at what they do because somewhere they put their best foot forward and now they're coaching at a college rank.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, here's a kid investing in himself. We didn't do all this. He did this.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's our turn.
Right.
Now we can take this and move with that.
Correct.
He built the foundation. Now let's help him finish it.
For sure.
That's what you got to do.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as I conclude this topic, guys, okay, all great stories, Josh. Whatever. Stop talking about yourself. How? I guess you could sit there and be like, okay, how do I do this? How?
I would hope our listeners at this point in time would understand how easy of an answer this is.
It really is. I'm so glad you said that, Mark, because if you're sitting there asking yourself, okay, it's like, how do I make some noise?
This is episode 5?
Episode 5,
So
yeah.
if you've listened to episode 1 through 4, you should know the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And I guess I'm kind of curious where your mind's at with this now, because I know where my mind, I before I presented this topic, I went on a long walk, and I was just like, for the viewers, for you guys listening, it was like, what if you're sitting there wondering how do I give myself the opportunity to make some noise? I'm going to share basically 2 words, that have probably gotten me where I am today, and will continue to get me, through the rest of life. And those 2 words are hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't care what anybody says, whether your hard work pays off when you want it to or not. I believe, I'm a firm believer that hard work will always prevail.
Yeah.
It will always prevail. And it's funny, I shared that story of my successes, and I ended up having more successes in college, but I'll just put it, I did not have the career that I thought I would have, that I thought I was going to have in college. I mean, I wasn't an All-American. Don't get me wrong, I contributed to the team in many aspects and had a ton of success. I was a runner-up for a captain role. A coach pulled me aside and actually shared that with me. But I actually walked away from college looking back at it and was like, I worked harder than any guy on that team, hands down. I will tell any guy to their face. Any of you Tigers listen to this, I love y'all. But I knew I was the hardest worker in the room at all times, and I think a lot of guys on my
Would probably
team
say that. Would agree.
say the same thing.
Sometimes, though, man, you can't choose genetics.
That's true, I'm sure. But no, I walked away saying, I'm like, wow, all that hard work that I did, and it didn't pay off like I thought it was. No, that hard work that I instilled in myself then is now paying off today. And it will pay off tomorrow and the time after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest, one of the biggest takeaways for a lot of people, and we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I have yet to meet a child, and I'm talking elementary age, that does not have aspirations.
Right.
Yet to. I have 5 of my own. Mm-hmm. Okay, they all want to be weird things.
Yeah.
Astronauts and
right.
Dr. Poole. Vets.
Yeah.
Weird things. They all have aspirations. I'll tell you where most of all of these things fail. Okay, there's two categories of this. Either A, someone tells you it'll never happen and you start believing it, or B, you don't put in the hard work to make it done.
Correct.
Because I'm here to tell you, when people say you can do whatever you want to do, you can be whatever you want to be, they're not lying to you. What the fine print that they aren't reading to you is, you can do whatever you want to do, you can be whatever you want to be, it's just going to be really daggone hard. So it's whether or not you're willing to put that part into it. Okay, that's what it comes down to. I on one side of all things will tell you this, at all times this. If it requires hard work, which most things do, if you want to accomplish something that requires hard work, you better be passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not passionate about it, that little fire that you have in the beginning, it's going to die out really quick.
No doubt.
Okay? So the two things is believe in yourself and prepare yourself to work that hard.
For sure.
And be passionate about what you're doing. Then you're going to be motivated to finish it. Because I guarantee you, there are times in your career, I can think of many stories from my career where you're just like, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, bro.
Cannot do this
almost
anymore.
every day.
You know
sometimes.
what I mean? And you are the only one that can pick yourself out of that gutter.
Correct.
You're like, man, you got to snap out of it. You got to snap out of it. You know what I mean? So people have to understand that. I mean, everybody has aspirations, but those aspirations come at a cost.
Yeah.
And that cost is not financial. That cost is physical and mental.
Yeah.
You just got to be willing to commit that. I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
You really do. You guys, if you're one, or if you know someone that sits around and just waiting for an opportunity to fall in your lap, I can promise you it doesn't work that way. It's not going to happen. You have to work for it. You got to go get it. Got to go get it.
Talking about it ain't going to make it come no faster either. I'm here to tell you, folks. Tweeting about it, posting about it, whatever it is y'all do, it ain't going to make it come no faster. No. Okay? That just ain't how it works.
Go get it.
It's literally, you got to get dirty.
Yep.
You got to get dirty. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I'm telling you, my kids all the time, they hear it from me all the time. All the time. Go get it.
Right.
Just go get it.
You want it?
Don't tell me, show me.
Yeah.
Mine definitely hear that every day.
Right.
You know, tomorrow's August 1st. So those of you who are not in the sports community, or those of you who never coached football or played football, August 1st probably doesn't mean a lot to you. Here in the wonderful state of Ohio, August 1st is like a holiday for football players, because tomorrow it's for real.
Yep.
Tomorrow it's for real. And all these kids have aspirations. Well, all of our high schoolers who are listening to this, at this point in time when you hear this, you have completed your first week of full practice. I'm here to tell you something. A lot of you all are probably disappointed, because you know what you didn't do? You didn't put in the time during the off season when nobody was watching, because that's when it matters, when nobody was watching. So if you're disappointed and your season already isn't going the way you want it to go, understand, you didn't take control of your control.
Correct.
You didn't make the noise. That's what happened.
Yep.
Because here's what happens, folks. At the end of the day, you got to put it on the field. And when I mean field, I mean general. I mean in the business, in the classroom, wherever you are, you got to put the product out there for people to see. Because eventually, everybody has to do that.
Yep.
Everybody has to do that. You can only hide so long. So if you don't put the hard work in, don't expect the results that you're looking for.
You're going to get exposed.
Yeah. I mean, 7-on-7s.
Yeah.
You got to prove yourself. That's live action. They got scrimmages coming up. Those are huge. Those are job interviews. High schoolers, those are job interviews. How many times I got to tell you? Go back. I think it was episode 2. Treat it like a business.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, your coaches are telling you we're a family, we love you. But at the end of the day, they're in the business of winning ball games. And they are going to put the guys in position that can win ball games.
Fact.
I don't care who you are, what your family is, what your last name reads, what kind of car you drive. All right? It don't matter. I don't care when you show up to the corporate office, if you show up in a 1987 Plymouth Horizon that's leaking oil all over the parking lot. I don't care, because when you walk inside and you produce, do you know what that guy says? That guy right there is making me money. I don't care what he drove. I don't care if you come in off the bus. I don't care where you get your clothes from. It's all about production.
Correct.
That's your noise. It ain't about what you say. It's about what you do. Yep. That's your noise. Make some noise.
Make some noise. Make some noise, gang.
Yeah.
Good.
Halftime.
Halftime it is.
Yeah. Fun fact for everybody.
Oh,
I just learned this week, okay? I think this is something we might start instilling. I just learned this week. I can't use Josh's because it hasn't been fact-checked. We haven't trumped that one yet, as we would say.
Shoot, yeah.
Armadillos, I did not know that they're residing in Florida, okay? I find them weird.
Armadillos, they are kind of weird.
They got like built-in like armor.
They roll.
It's weird.
Yeah.
They carry the virus for leprosy.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know that was still a thing. I didn't even know that
goes
was
back to the Bible.
Bro, when I heard that, I almost pulled over and was like, man, I need to check that out right now because that dude's lying. Armadillos reside in Florida, and they carry the virus or the infection or whatever it is that causes leprosy. That is the weirdest thing I've probably ever heard. So now we just shared that with everybody here in a little break. But I had to share that.
Let's go hunting.
I don't know if we'd have to use like special arrows. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, ding! I don't know.
You're right. They do have like an armor, like,
Could be like some vampire stuff. I mean, you got to use like a specific metal. I don't know. But yeah, no. But fun fact for everybody. So on that note, though, this podcast would not be near as successful as it's already been, and we're very fortunate to all of our listeners in providing us this success. If it weren't for one man and one company, and that is Tip Hat Media. Lincoln is our producer. He is our artiste. Yeah. He is a creator of many things.
Our accountability partner.
We get random texts from him that he definitely keeps us accountable. He definitely is one of our biggest critics, who we appreciate and love because he has an eye for perfection when we start talking about media. So if you're a company out there that's looking to take your business to another level and you need outreach, the best way to make noise with your outreach is having a company that can put your brand on a whole nother level that naturally attracts people to itself. Tip Hat Media can do that. This guy can do things with, whether it's video cameraing, picturing, drones. He can help you out with your websites, with your social media sites. He can create so many things and does it so quickly. And he's so good at multitasking. I promise you, every person that works with Lincoln feels like they're the only person that works with Lincoln. And that's really a great feeling to have when you're a business somebody. No, I mean, the guy's super busy. I don't care what it is.
Well, talk about making some noise. Tip Hat Media, this dude is working with some of the biggest realtors in the Columbus area doing drone shots for these houses that are going on the market. So this guy is making some noise in this industry. And dude, he's taken off with it. So
he had a talent, he's crafted it, and now that craft is paying him back.
For sure.
So we're very happy and proud to be working with him. Tip Hat Media, wouldn't be able to be here without him. So it's fantastic. So moving on. Colorblind. I told Josh about Colorblind, and he got all a little weird about it. So I retired August 2018. So prior to that, I read a newspaper every day. That is how I received all of my newsworthy information. I literally old-fashioned.
You read a what?
A newspaper.
What's that?
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding.
Like every day, though, from front to back, every section, I read it.
Well, you firefighters, you got a lot of time in your hands.
We do. But I'm old-fashioned. I like to feel things. I still read books.
Right.
I don't do like electronic books.
Well, note-taking, you like pen and paper.
Yeah. So when I retired, though, that ended. No offense to the newspaper companies, but y'all are too expensive. That's just what it comes down to. I'm retired, man. I'm on a fixed income. So I still get a once-a-week newspaper, which is our little local newspaper, which I enjoy because it gives me a lot of local things, keep up with a lot of kids that I know. But I have two apps on my phone. I have a news app that I get all my national news from, and then I have a local news app. Okay? That's where I get my news from. All right? I'm not a big fan of watching the news, and I'll touch base on that. I was shocked this week. I was watching my national news, and there's a video, and as a mentally disabled 15-year-old girl, and she's walking down the street, and she gets jumped by 3 other teenage girls, and they beat the sin out of her. I mean, they beat this girl.
She's still alive?
Yeah. She was missing for days.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. And someone videotaped it.
And didn't intervene?
No. There was a crowd. There was a crowd of people, and I was embarrassed by how much laughter you heard in the background.
Oh, my God.
And this girl is begging, for a break. Begging. And the only reason I watched the video is because, I'm going to talk about this. I read the article. Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm going to talk about this. And it made me think. It made me think about how I was raised. It made me think about a lot of things. And, of course, everybody right now jumps to race. We're colorblind. We don't be colorblind. We've heard that a long time. Don't be colorblind. And everybody always adds that to race, black and white, whatever you want to do. I want to do something different with that. Colorblind. Let's be colorblind to everything.
Yeah.
I don't care what neighborhood you live in. I don't care what your house looks like. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care what kind of job you have. I don't care what your financial status is. I don't care what your accent is. I sure as heck don't care what your skin color is. I don't care. I don't. And what made me say that is I'm not going to discuss the ethnicity of the people that were in this video because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And the reason I say that doesn't matter is because I started reading the comments on these stories. I thought I was embarrassed watching this girl get beat up, which was horrific. The comments equally as worse. Equally as worse. And I'm thinking, this is an epidemic.
Oh, yeah.
This is as bad as cancer.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand that. That's how serious it is.
Right.
I mean, the verbiage that is being used on a social platform that anybody can go on and read, there's a problem. Mm-hmm. There's a problem. So I start digging into it. I'm curious. Right. I'm like, I wonder how many people see this stuff. You know,
I'm sure a lot.
On my news all the time. You know, you see some things that our country's leadership like to go back and forth and banter like children, which I find to be absolutely idiotic, but that doesn't matter. So I start looking into this. I'm diving into this. So there was a study done in 2018.
Okay.
And the study was done, where do people get their news from? I was blown away by how many people in this country get their news from social media platforms. I'm talking Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, and there's like a couple, Reddit, some things I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
But at the rate, Snapchat, 70% of high schoolers get their news from Snapchat.
Yeah, I believe it.
I was like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. Now, overall, 62% of people from the high school age through the college age, so we're talking from like 16 to 24, 62% of people get their news from a social media platform. Okay, you're saying, well, why is this important? I'm going to tell you why it's important. Number two, because you're allowing, whether or not you believe this or not, you're allowing the way that you think about other people, other cultures, other diversities, other people of different, backgrounds to be affected by what anybody can freely place on a social media platform with no balances, no checks, no fact checking, nothing.
Correct. Yeah.
Anybody can post on that. Anybody. Anybody. And you're allowing that to affect the way you think. Mm-hmm. And right now you're saying, well, no, I just read it. It doesn't really affect me.
No.
Yes, it does. Because I'm telling you, when you go back to see this story and read the comments, I'm here to tell you, it does matter. Mm-hmm. Now, I would never in my life condone what these three girls did. But I would be the first one to say, these girls need help.
Yeah.
They need help.
Oh, no doubt.
What makes you do that? What makes you do that? They themselves have an illness.
Right.
But all you see, dude, I'm telling you, there was stuff in the comments like, they each need a bullet in the head. That's how you fix this? Because all this is going to do is create more problem, which is going to create more hate. Yeah. And then more people are going to say, oh, well, now this is an issue of them versus us and all this stuff. And the only reason you can say that is because you're privileged. You've never lived like this. And I know people are listening to this right now saying, dude, you're just a white guy who's talking like this. Right. Yes, I am. I am. But I'm here to tell you, I don't treat people like this.
Right. It's unacceptable.
And I will put my reputation up on the platform for people to pick and say, find it, because you will not find it. I don't treat people like that. So I don't know how to understand this. And you say, well, you've never lived in a culture like that. Okay, well, I spent a third of my current life in that culture. Mm-hmm. I was one of 10 Caucasian white males in a dominant black neighborhood. I worked there 24 hours a day.
Right.
Literally. And I left that building 20 times a day. And I went out there and I never had an issue. I walked in, I treated them with respect. Yeah. There's lots of them became like friends because you run on them all the time. I knew their children. I knew their mothers. I knew their cousins.
Right.
I just treated them like normal people. And it's funny because when I first started, they're like, oh, here comes another white guy. By the end of it, there was a mutual respect. I respected them. They respected me. You can't really call it a friendship because you weren't spending time together. But you know what? We were two humans who were seeing the big picture.
How it should be.
That's all it was. I didn't want to cause offense. I didn't need offense. But I'm watching this, and I'm thinking of all these people who are getting their news from these social media platforms where anybody and everybody can post their own bigotry, their own hate, the disgust that goes on this. I'm here to tell you, our country's youth, the next generation who we are hoping and praying can have a major impact on the issues that we're having in society. This is where they're getting their information from.
Right.
Now, do you want to hear something crazy? There was another study done in 2019. Same study that was very similar to that one, okay? They wrote an article on this one. 57% of those who get their news from social media outlets say they have no point in reading it and believing that it's accurate. 57% of them, they say, I know that it's not accurate, but I'm still going to get my news from there. So why would you go to a platform that you know is spewing lies or exaggerations?
Yeah.
I was like, what? 57? Over half the people that go here are already self-admitting, oh, we know it's not really true. Then why do you do it?
It's entertaining.
How is it? And I don't understand that. So to continue with the story of this unfortunate young lady, luckily she's doing well. She's back with her parents. Obviously, she's getting the medical help that she needs. It was a horrible, horrible story. I don't even want to tell you guys when and where because I don't want to spread more anger. Right. It's sad. If you Google it, it's not going to be hard to find. So the three young girls, I don't know what site it was on because once again, this is on my national news feed. And the title is 3 young girls who beat up mentally disabled girl just want to be left alone. That's the title. I'm like, okay, clickbait. I got to click on this. Yeah. So I don't know what social media platform it is. It's a video. These girls are hysterically crying and they're screaming, we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry. Will you just leave us alone? And once again, the comments are just out of this world.
Berating these girls.
Oh, and don't get me wrong. There is nothing okay with what y'all did. Nothing. And yes, you absolutely deserve to be punished in a fair court of law.
Correct.
That's just what has to happen. But as a society, this is where we need to be stepping in. This is where we need to be working with these communities, be working with these parents, be working with these children because this is an illness. We talk about them assaulting this poor mentally disabled girl. Well, I'm here to tell you, these 3 girls are mentally disabled.
Yeah.
Because it takes a mentally disabled person to go punish someone like that and do something. And all the people that were laughing in the crowd, they're mentally disabled. And I'm here to tell you where they're mentally disabled from because they're seeing that crap on their social media platforms all the time.
They think it's acceptable.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You post it, it's so easy to laugh, LOL, no one's finding you. You didn't really hurt anybody.
Right.
But what you're doing is stupidity breeds stupidity.
Yeah.
And as much as you're going to tell me, yeah, I mean, I just find it funny. I don't really get into that stuff, but I watch it every single day. I'm here to tell you, it's having an effect on your life.
No doubt.
I'm here to tell you it is. And it's not positive. It is not positive. Your body is a very simple product. Mm-hmm. Positivity in, positivity out. Negativity in, negativity out.
Exactly.
That's how this works. Mm-hmm. And you were talking earlier about Snapchat and like people can go on there and create these videos that disappear. Boys, I haven't heard more of a cowardice act than I've ever seen in my life. Let's create this platform where you can be the world's ultimate coward. You can create whatever you want. And how long is the video?
10 seconds, I think is what you
10-second video. You can say whatever you want, 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. You can offend everybody in the whole wide world. It's okay. It disappears.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you something, people. That ain't life.
No.
That ain't life. And then when you get busted and you're like, I don't know what happened. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Life is not social media.
Right.
Life is real world. Real people get hurt.
Correct.
I mean, when do we stop? When do we stop and we just say, okay, why am I treating this person different because they don't look like me? When do we do that? I mean, folks, Abraham Lincoln, 150 years ago, and yet here we are still fighting the Civil War.
Yeah, jeez.
It's embarrassing.
I'm speechless. I really am. Like I can't even I can't even wrap my mind around this right now because I know it happens. I know this stuff happens, daily probably. What's the answer? Dude, I don't know.
The answer comes within each and every. So that's what I was thinking. I was thinking a lot of people would say, yeah, but how do we fix this? It starts with every single individual.
Correct. Yeah.
Every single individual, you have the choice to make.
Yeah.
You have the choice to make. If I'm an adult who has obviously a impact on people younger than me, whether it's children or just people that I influence on a regular basis, such as this podcast, it is my responsibility to not spew hate.
Right.
It is not my responsibility to say, oh, well, this guy was murdered, but that's because a white guy did it. No. It's not. That's not what it is. This is human action. Okay, so this person is punished as a human. Not because of his skin color, not because of his background.
Correct.
Because of a human.
Yeah.
The human made a mistake. When we stop looking at people as color, then the world, in my mind, gets better. Because you know what? Humans pay punishments for human action.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. We need to stop with this demographical, what neighborhood you grew up in, what did it. No, that's got to end. And I'm not telling you, don't be proud of your background. I'm very proud of where I came from. I'm very proud of, who my grandparents were and my great-grandparents. I'm very proud of that. You should be proud of that. That's part of who you are. But we need to stop. Right. We need to stop judging people for that.
Well, and Mark, I think with what you're saying here, I think we were just kind of tearing social media apart a little bit, and I think you're absolutely right. I completely agree with you.
That's not what his intended use was for.
Right, and I think everything that it's put on social media, you're right. It's too accessible. You can hide behind it. But I think big picture speaking here too is our news is just as bad. Our news is just our big news stations are just as bad because they're going to show what people are going to view. That's all there is to it.
So that's a whole other topic for another day. I was thinking the same thing. The reality is people need to understand what news medias make money based upon ratings.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Ratings is dollars.
Yep.
So why would they go out and just spit the truth that has no drama to it, no exaggeration? Right. It's no different than you watch the weather. Oh, boys, go out and get your bread, get your water, get your milk. We're going to be snowed in for 5 days. Yeah. The next morning, I don't know what happened to that cold storm system. It got pushed up to the north by a heat wave, and we get 2 inches of snow.
Right.
But you know what? Walmart ain't got a shelf left in it.
Exactly.
So it's did Walmart call Channel 10 and tell Channel 10 to run a news story like this? No, it's called drama.
Yep.
The more people that watch, the more dollars that we make. And it's no different than with the police violence. It's no different than with literally gang violence or home violence. It's all exaggerated. Mm-hmm. They do it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And the reality is there's nobody checking them. There's nobody saying stop.
Right.
No, if you want to be in news media, tell the news. That's the end of discussion.
Right.
No. That's not how that works. It's fact-checking went out the window. Mm-hmm. It's good journalism has gone out the window.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And I think it's so sad at the effect that it's having, because what we've seen now, it's the dwindle effect. It started up high, and now it's reached all the way down to a level in which our young people are being highly affected.
Yeah.
These are the next generations. You are the next generation.
Right. Yep.
And if you want things to get better, it starts with you as an individual. I don't care what your friends do. I don't care what your friends think. I don't even care what your family thinks. If your family thinks something negative about a certain race or a certain demographic of people, be different.
Yeah.
Be better and be different and say, that's not going to be me. Mm-hmm. That's not going to be me.
Well, and guys, we talked about a couple weeks ago about removing individuals from our life that have a negative impact. I actually had someone message me. I was like, hey, I listened to episode whatever that was, and, I actually did some self-reflection on people in my life that I need to remove. This is the same thing.
Yes.
Social media, news stations, don't indulge into the negative, because what you indulge in is what will come out.
Fact.
Remove it. Remove those people from your life that you already have, and remove the negative things that you're viewing with your eyes. It's that simple. It's that simple.
If you're not having success in your life for multiple reasons, whether it's relationships, whether it's your work, whether, it's like this, your thought process.
Yeah.
Then you need to figure out what that is. If you're thinking all this negativity about other people and demographics, you need to wonder why am I thinking that way?
Right.
And then you need to make improvements on that. If you are not succeeding in your work life or your personal life, then you need to ask yourself, why am I not doing that? Why am I unable to make noise?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Let's look at your screen time first. Let's see how much time you spend on social media, because phones are so smart now, they tell you that.
Priorities. We just talked about this too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just boggles my mind. I see stuff like that, and I'm like, I didn't even know this stuff happens. Why is this happening? And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's just a dumb white guy with a microphone. I understand that, and I respect you for thinking that. I really, really do. I would love to have you on our show. I would love to have that.
Let me get your opinion.
Please. Because the reality is I cannot wrap my mind around this.
Yeah.
In my world, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
And that's why you start doing your own research. I'm here to tell you, folks, if you read something and it sounds so crazy, chances are it is crazy. Do some of your own research. It's so easy to look up and do research, find studies, actual studies that are done by actual companies with actual scientific math and data. You know, it wasn't hard to find a study of how many people use social media, how many people use social media for news. They give you all the numbers. I'm not going to bore you with a ton of numbers. They break those numbers down into race. Right. They break them down into age groups.
Yeah.
They break it all down. It's insane. But the big numbers is 62% of our young people, that's how they're getting their news. I'm here to tell you, and I hate to say this word because you're going to instantly associate with someone else, it's fake news.
Yeah.
It is. Yep. But then the fact that 57% of you know that it's fake news and you still do it, like that doesn't even make sense to me. Doesn't even make sense to me. I don't get it. I mean, we need to turn the blinders off. Mm-hmm. You need to take away the distractions from yourself. Utilize social media. I'm not going to tell you don't, but utilize it what it was intended for.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
It is a phenomenal marketing business tool, and it's also really, really, really good for individuals who are farly separated or family members who are definitely separated by afar, and they can stay in touch and they can share things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so great for that. It is. I'm here to tell you, it's not a dating tool. It's not a news channel. It's definitely not for you to go out and, strut your stuff, because I'm here to tell you, those likes and those little hearts that light up, that's fake. It's fake. Yeah. We're losing a generation of communicators.
We are. Well, yes, I agree with you. Yes, at least one-on-one, face-to-face communication.
We're losing it.
Yeah.
We're losing it. I mean, literally, we've become colorblind to a whole generation of life.
Correct. Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I think the reason I kind of stuttered there a little bit is I think this is a topic within itself, and we'll actually touch on this one of these days.
Yeah.
But I overheard something. I was listening to a podcast or something the other day, and it was actually talking about how millennials listening, congratulations. You guys, I'm actually a millennial myself. We are one of the I don't think they said the best communicators out there, but they basically, how they said it was like, millennials communicate more than anybody ever has. We do.
Yeah.
Because of these phones.
Yes.
But does that make us the best communicators? Maybe in a way, because we're always communicating, so we know how to do it that way. But face to face, yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
No, it's
with you,
just
Mark.
different.
It is.
And I don't like to bring all this back to sports. I mean, guys, we have a huge sports background. I don't like to always bring us back to sports, but once again, there was a tweet the other day, and I'm going to bring up a tweet, and the tweet basically said, if you want to see different people from different ethnicities and backgrounds come together to be one unit and one family, let me walk you into a football locker room.
Mm. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because of the leadership that occurs in most locker rooms. Girl sports, boy sports, I don't care what it is. The leadership that takes place in most locker rooms doesn't allow such ignorance.
Correct.
Because when in every locker room I've been in, when the word family is used, it's not just used, it's displayed.
Yeah.
It's displayed. And I don't care where you came from. I don't care who your mom and dad are. I don't care what color your skin is. No. It's a group of individuals with one dream, with one plan, with one amount of effort. And the saddest part is you're like, well, that really doesn't apply to the real world. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. I don't care what your background is. I don't care who you are. We all have the same plan. We all have the same desires. We all want to be the best version of us, and we all want to be successful. The difference is we all act like we're playing against everybody, when the reality is we're on the same stinking team.
Same team.
Everybody is on the same team. There is enough success to go around. Mm-hmm. But yet all we do is knock on each other. Yep. That's all we do.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
It just makes me want to puke. It makes me want to puke.
Mm-hmm.
I read that stuff and I get sick to my stomach. Yeah. I just don't get it. I mean, I'm telling you folks, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't really know if that's where you're going to go with colorblind. Listen to me right now. I am not the wisest of men, but I'm here to tell you right now, the way you treat other people is so vastly important, not just for them, but I would say even more so for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're accountable for you. At the end of the day, you're the one that's got to lay down in bed. And if it doesn't bother you that you treat people like dirt, then you've got much greater issues than I could ever begin to break down. I'm here to tell you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being colorblind when it comes to human interaction, because at the end of the day, we're all on the same team.
Right.
And we all need to be treated with respect, and we all need to be loved, and we all need to be affirmed.
For sure.
And you know what? We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying these girls don't deserve not to get punished. They absolutely should be punished. That's the type of fair world we live in.
Yeah.
But you know what? They should also be forgiven.
Correct. And guys, just so you guys can understand what Mark's saying a little bit more, maybe he's not talking to you specifically listening, but don't allow yourself and don't be that individual that just sits on the sideline and lets this stuff happen.
Yep.
Okay? If you're sitting there and be like, well, that's not me. I'm a great person. Good. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Go
But-
make a difference.
But don't allow it to happen either.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Go make a difference.
Stand up. Good topic, brother.
Yeah.
Good topic. I like that. Yeah, it's a huge issue, as a lot of you guys know, just listening in our world today. It really is, and I think there's a lot of things that need to happen to see a change. We got to become one again. We do, as cliche as that is, we got to become one nation.
Yeah.
One nation. I mean, it's one
But it
nation
starts
under
with
God.
each individual.
It does.
Let's stop blaming all of our leadership, okay? Yeah, whether you like them or dislike them, I'm going to tell you right now, let's stop blaming them and let's start controlling our own.
Yeah.
Take control of your own control. Because if you starts with you, that spreads.
It does.
That spreads. Start here. If they're not going to do it, so be it. Let them not do it. We can do it. Let us take our country back. I don't need to be led by some of these morons.
No.
I'll lead where I lead from. And I'm asking all you guys, lead where you are from.
For sure.
Be a leader.
Yeah.
Let's us make the difference.
No
Because
such-
I am sick and tired of seeing stories like this.
No such thing as too many leaders.
No. I just breaks my heart to see stuff like that. I want us all to be better. I see that stuff and it just makes me want to go out and just start high-fiving people and encouraging people. Be better.
Good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
make some noise.
Absolutely.
Don't
Stay
be-
away from
Don't be colorblind.
stay away from the leprosy carrying armadillos.
You guys find one, send us a picture. We'll go hunting for it.
Dude, I'm telling you, stay away because that's some scary stuff right there. I don't even know if they have like vaccines for that. I don't even know. So yeah,
I don't know either.
yeah.
Well,
Once again, Visionary Meals, we appreciate you.
Yep.
If you want any information on that, visionarymeals.com.
Yep.
Tip Hat Media, I know you can find it tiphatmedia.com. And all of those guys, all of those things can be done on all the social media outlets. And I'll also tell you guys too, exciting news. We're just now moving into the iTunes and
We are.
Spotify.
yes, these these should be on these platforms within the week, I would
Yeah.
imagine. You actually might be listening to this episode now on iTunes.
So SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah.
We're trying to make ourselves accessible to everybody. And
sure.
once again, you cannot offend us.
No,
So if you think it, tell us.
please.
Whatever the DM is, or tweet us, or whatever, email us, whatever. Get a hold of us. Let us know.
We want this to be an open dialogue.
Please,
we really do.
please.
Like,
I want us all to be involved.
the handful of you guys that have reached out through our DMs on social media, guys, that means the world to me. I appreciate that. I am the one behind the account because Mark doesn't have social media. So please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have a question for Mark that's not on the account,
Send it to John. Trust me,
we'll
guys. We
get-
talk every day.
yeah,
we
get it
talk every day.
communicated. But we appreciate that. So if you guys haven't come across our social media accounts, please follow, let us know, DM us. Subscribe everywhere, guys. We appreciate that.
The more people that do, then we start running the promotions and we make you guys even more involved.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. We want to get you guys more involved because we really do appreciate you listening in and tuning with us. Because like I said an episode or two ago, we're going to do this ride together. We're going to all grow together. We're all going to become better together.
What I want our listeners to understand, this is not, we're not trying to utilize this platform to fill our wallets with money.
No.
This platform is meant to have an impact.
Yeah.
And we want this impact to be a positive impact.
For sure.
And it's only as good as the feedback we get from you guys.
Yeah.
Because just the same thing that we challenge our athletes for, we got to get better every day too.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's the goal.
And we know we're not perfect.
Oh, gosh, no.
We know
Nope.
we're not perfect, but we're here at least we're gonna stir a fire and stir a conversation with you guys. We'll
Being better
communicate
starts with
together.
us.
Yes.
Yep.
It does.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Deliberately Linked signing out.
See you next time.